Greetings, good afternoon, gents. How are you doing? You good?
We're good, thanks. Yeah.
Good. Thanks for your time, man. Really appreciate it. We're here at Azawala to talk about your beautiful gallery. Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me a little bit about how it came to be here.
Well, I mean, we're both brothers of Ghanaian heritage. We used to visit our parents back in the day, buy various works of art, as you do on holiday, to decorate our homes. And then over the years, over the visits, we got to learn more about the arts and know them more intimately. And so we thought to ourselves, it's a shame that there isn't more representation for these guys, because their works, in our opinion, were comparable and even better than some of the works that we'd seen in London, when you even could get to see African art. So, we started just as a project. Let's try and give them more awareness. So we'd buy art off them, bring it back to London, exhibit it in the stores that we used to run. And through that, they would get a better profile. And in our small part, try and, help them embark upon their... Sorry, man.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're basically giving them an opportunity and creating a pathway. So, there's a lot of art, and we're going to really expose that picture above you in a minute. I know it's not captured in the shot, but there's a lot of art like that, for instance, which is striking, and, it's done by competent artists who, if they had the profile and the platform, they'd be more world-renowned.
It's all about that, the fact that, being in Europe, living in Europe as we do, we're aware of what the art scene is like, and these guys are doing it for next to nothing, They're really struggling to get materials to do the work. And then even when they do it, they're only reliant on tourists. The general population don't tend to go and buy their products, so they're really struggling. And they've gone through all the universities. They've taken advice and mentoring from some of the amazing artists that we have in Africa. So that they're very competent, and if we can take their work and bring it to the UK and spread it across the European continent, there's definitely something there for them, and we've been able to try and get that going. And some of the artists now we've had since 2010.
2010, yeah.
Still with us, we're still trying to help them along. But unfortunately, COVID's come along, and that's really knocked everything out. So.
Well, that brings on to my next question. You're in a bit of a spot at the moment as a gallery, as a business, as most businesses are.
Sure.
Trying to work it out post-COVID, post-lockdown.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what the challenges that you guys are facing are.
Well, the problem, obviously, with COVID is that we became a non-essential business, which meant that we suffered the fact that we couldn't operate. And even if we were able to operate, it's on limited numbers. So, everything was stacking up against us. We are known for doing events as well, and the only way that events are profitable or worthwhile doing is if you can have volume of people here. And obviously, we're restricted by numbers again, so that couldn't work. So it just really meant that all our revenue streams were getting choked at every option. We just didn't have anywhere to sort of see where we can get regular income the way that we used to. So we obviously got to a point now where, unfortunately, because of that, we're not able to meet the monthly rental just to keep our space going. We've had a really, really considerate landlady. We still have a considerate landlady, but like everything else, it can't be seen as a business if you're not making any money. That's just basic economics, So we've been given a bit of a lifeline in as much as we've had a reduction in our rents and so on, and she's looked after us the best way she can. But at the end of the day, she's having to bankroll this whole operation. I've been taking on some admin work to try and offset some of that, so that we're not just taking everything for free. But the fact that we've been able to open when we can open, it just still means that people are not confident to come out and shop the way they used to. So
you're on the hunt for investment.
We are.
Serious investment. Talk about what makes this an attractive entity for somebody who's looking to get involved in the art space, or even in this multifaceted space, which I guess could be used and extended beyond just the arts.
Well, our idea is to create a hub for the community, black community, essentially. Because of the size of the building, there's so many options to put different activities in different spaces. But the beauty of it all is that everything can be run on a daily basis. So it will become somewhere that people can come and attend, and it'll be, you know, from during the daytime, business hours, into the evening for classes, mentoring, therapies, whatever it might be. So we have the luxury of a very large space here, which is a great retail space, but it doubles up as our gallery. Next door, there's a smaller unit, but that could be turned into a therapy room or something like that, an office of some kind. Then we have a huge basement that covers the two shops at street level. So we've got a huge basement that can be developed into whatever we choose to do. And then we have a huge courtyard at the back, which we've got an idea to put a market for upstart, what do they call it? Startup businesses?
That's right, yeah, because we've done this in the past. We used to have a premises at the Artworks Elephant. There's a number of shipping containers which were repurposed for up-and-coming startups and young entrepreneurial companies. So we had experience of running art markets before, and we envisaged that the courtyard area that we have here, we could develop in the same manner. Similarly, as Josh said, you know, the basement space, we have visions how that can be developed to host various activities and pursuits that we've done in the past. So yeah, there's quite a compelling plan that we have available, but at this juncture, you know, we're trying to appeal to any interested social enterprises that would be interested in coming in to help us develop that plan and bring it to fruition.
Azawale, what's it mean?
Azawala, yeah, it's a play on words from we're Fantis, Ghanaians, and Azawala, it's loosely translates it, it's your choice, it's up to you. So come and visit our space, come and visit our gallery, and you'll see things which you'll love to buy. It's your choice. I
know that would have been in the comments had I not asked. So I needed to know where the origin of that came from.
Sure.
The art space is about to experience a whole sea change. I say about to experience. It's a growing sea change. It's been experiencing this in terms of a lot more exposure to digital assets and the rise of smart contracts, enabling people to track ownership of digital art. That's going to open up the game to a whole load of artists. So you guys looking to embrace that? Have you got any plans in that area? Talk about how you move forward and kind of embrace the digital.
Well, most definitely we intend to move into the NFT space as it's now become to be known. One of the reasons that we started Azawala in the first place was because we didn't like what we were seeing in terms of equitability towards the way the artists were being treated. Hence why we started to bring the art over to gain wider exposure. So the NFT space is going to lend itself brilliantly to the visions that Azawala has, because it's all about empowering the artists, giving them more control over their work. I mean, I can go on for a number of stories where one of the artists who we work closely with had a visitor from the States, loved his work, bought his work, went to the States, started printing the works online, and you know, the artist found out only later when we became involved with him. And because there was no copyright in terms of anything written down, nothing documented, you know, we tried to pursue it in terms of getting closure on that website to no avail. Now, had that NFT world existed at that time, we could have protected that artist from, you know, the ensuing problems. You know, ourselves, we've had art stolen from us, from other people who are supposedly partners, looking out for the best interest of the artists. We've had art stolen when we've donated pieces for auction for charity. And so the NFT world, in terms of what it gives and offers for ownership of works, is really, we're going to embrace it, because this is exactly why we exist, to help protect the rights, you know, and powers of the artist.
Before we conclude then, in an ideal world, how does you getting over this bump in the road look like? If it was perfect, Father Christmas came 6 months early, what would be in his sack of goodies?
Well, we have enough money to keep this place going. That would be the number one, because without that we can't continue. But then we would develop what we've started and really get into it in a big way. I mean, as much as we've got so many options in terms of the artists that we work with, home and abroad. What my vision would be in some time and space would be to do some exchange. So we could bring some of the artists over from Africa, come here. We have a plethora of artists who work with us here in the UK who have begged Nick and I, listen, set up a trip to Ghana. Let's go and let's do that. You know, that would be a real major for the Azawala brand to be able to say that we've done that exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, all eyes are on seeing how the reopening is going to affect us and impact our ability to travel, and for people that we partner with to travel. So, obviously, that's still a big unknown, but definitely, as Joss says, longer term, you know, we want to strengthen those ties with bringing those artists to over here so that people can see, visit them, react with them, take workshops off them.
Set up proper exhibitions, you know, like you mentioned, and stuff. Like, you know, all those places are accessible, and we need to find our space within those places, you know. And we've got the artists who can, you know, stand up and be counted. You know, a lot of them have done very well on the little resources that they have, you know, in Ghana especially. They've done very, very well, you know, just to keep themselves self-promoted and self-sufficient, you know. And if we can in any way, just be that extra arm, leg up to bring them over, then let's look at that.
Gents, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Best of luck with everything that is in front of you. Just before I conclude, how much is that? How much is that picture above you? I do like. Let me see if I can angle the camera.
There's a price just above Nick's head.
Yeah. How much is it?
Without being crude.
Beautiful.
Which one are you looking at? This
The
one.
main one, yeah.
Yeah, this one's £400.
This one is £400.
£400. Who's the artist?
It's an artist.
Daniel Acortia. No,
Don't know
that's
if you can see
Inshira.
that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is
Doesn't
Inshira.
matter.
All right. Well, people, you know where to come and buy it if you want it. You know.
That's right. And the work above is by him as well.
Yeah,
But you'll have to come to the shop to see
All
what
right.
it is.
See, I won't expose that one.
Okay.
Nick, Joss, appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you.
Joss, thank you very much.
No.
Appreciate your time.